on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? It is True Tuesday? Nah. Well, you know what? Just forget it. I'm just going to keep calling it True Tuesday, even though it's not the official title for it, because I just can't think of anything else. But yeah, man, welcome back on this Tuesday night for another edition of the Omnious Mindset. Hope you guys are doing really, really good. Hope you've had a good, tranquil Tuesday. You know what I mean? It is the official ending date of the 8/8 LionsGate portal. With that being said, also I found out that it is Mercury retrograde, which isn't very surprising. Should have known. All the stuff that's been going on, all of the past events, past lessons being brought out. Spirit and the universe testing me like, have you learned your lesson yet? Gonna keep, you know what I mean? You're gonna keep going on. If you learned your lesson, look. With this 8/8 LionsGate portal, along with manifestation and trying to get on that new paradigm shift of what could be your life, it also brings out a lot of truths, a lot of secrets, you know what I mean? Especially with Mercury retrograde. This was a big one. Like, honestly, it was a full moon. It was the 8/8 LionsGate portal. It was Mercury retrograde. All of that one. No wonder people have been acting so freaking weird, man. I didn't check the moon phase, so I don't know if today is the last day of what would be considered somewhat of a full moon. But I do know today, like I said, like we know from just asking Alexa and what I've researched before, that today is the end of the LionsGate portal. So hopefully, you know what I mean, you at least face some of those demons. Maybe not all of them, but hopefully it was enough to where it was able to make some sort of an impact in your life, to where if you're not 100% on that other side of the paradigm shift, you at least got your foot in the door. You know what I mean? So, like I said, lessons for me came up, and there were lessons learned, straight up. Did not bring down my vibration, though. You know what I mean? You can't let anything bring down your vibration like that. If it's a lesson, along with you learning this lesson, you gotta realize that's growth. Having that thought process of transmutation, like I'm always talking about, I'm telling you, when you truly get into the swing of it and you apply it to your everyday life, it truly becomes second nature to see the silver lining in anything. To take the lesson out of anything, to truly not have anything like bring you down to where you're just beat down and defeated, even for a little bit. And that doesn't mean like getting upset about a situation. That's not being defeated. That's just a human emotion that everybody gets. I'm talking about to where you're just giving up, either on your hopes and dreams, either on just defending yourself and speaking, period. Anything, just giving up, period. Don't let it, you know what I mean? Learn those lessons, find the silver lining in it, and then teach that lesson that you learned. Not the same way that you learned it, that's not what I mean. But you'll be able to see within other people. I remember being taught that lesson. Hey, come here, let me give you some advice on that. Hopefully if they take it, you know what I mean? Not everybody's susceptible to your advice. People think they know it. But to those who are, make sure you're giving it to them. Make sure you're giving them that advice. Make sure you're teaching them that lesson the right way. But yeah, man, hopefully you're on the good side of it. What else can I say? Okay, so what else did I have? So with the 8/8, well, no, I'm just winging it, of course. Been winging it. I will get some karma cards out. I do want to do some more karma cards for today. Man, I do have one slight announcement, but I've been learning to try to keep some of my ideas to myself because I know there's people out there that take them. I have a very strong hunch for some reason. I've been meditating a lot I mean, like I said, I don't try to get too specific into my downloads. I already know I'm kind of seemingly out there to a lot of people. Not that I really care, but some of the things I do keep personal to myself. You know what I mean? Because it's only me that would understand it. And I see the certain downloads that I get play out, and I'm just like, wow, I wish I could have told this person that. But you know what happens when you do? Sometimes you just got to keep some of that stuff inside. And I do. Not in a bad pent up way, just you don't express absolutely everything. And I've kind of learned that one. But on this aspect, I'm telling you, it's like, well, hold on. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Let me get these shuffled real quick. Because I'm telling you, man, this, the idea that I have, but I have a strong hunch, though, at the same time that there's somebody out there, not necessarily somebody in specific, but it's just the download that I got while meditating. You know, there's always going to be somebody out there who is more than a fan. Let's put it that way. When it comes to your work, when it comes to your style, when it comes to your essence as a person, period. And they might become such a crazed fan that they start stealing your ideas and your work, start claiming it as their own. Not only claiming it as their own, but going so far as to claiming that as their own and possibly trying to take legal action about it. This hasn't happened to me yet. And I'm not trying to will it. But I'm saying I meditate a lot. I truly do. And it's deep introspection of myself and my surroundings. People who watch me, people who I interact with on a daily basis. And it's not in like some sort of judgment. It's just being one with your surroundings more. You know what I mean? But that's one that, I don't know. It's just, I've been thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and it's just like, with the, not luck, because I don't want to consider it luck, but it's just like, I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, if that's the case. Hopefully it doesn't. But all right, man. Planets, signs, houses. See what we get. For planets, Mercury. Mercury retrograde. Right on. Signs, Voigo. Baba Boucher. Who told you was a Voigo? Vicky Valancourt. All right, and for house every weekend, we got second house. Okay, so these are, remember, in case you didn't remember before, red is the action, blue at the bottom is the outcome, okay? Spiritual, mental, physical, going across. So for spiritual, it says, communicate the serving of others patiently. Communicate the serving of others patiently. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm giving somewhat of a public service announcement, so to speak, and I'm communicating it, and I'm trying to do it in a patient manner. I don't know. Maybe this is something you do. So whenever you are maybe giving out advice, talking to somebody, well, yeah, giving out advice, basically. Besides doing a podcast or something like that, that's another way of like serving to others through communication, I would think. But whatever you do it patiently, like not necessarily as if like you're hurrying in a way, but as if like more of a caring gesture or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of hard to break down. You said about that before about these cards. It's mixed up. You got to piece it together. But for the mental aspect, it says, analyze the details of what you want. Be specific when communicating to the universe about what it is you're trying to manifest. Writing it down. You know what I mean? 369 method. That's a really good way to get specific details if you're like trying to speak an affirmation, but you can't necessarily, I don't know, you're doing it at the spur of the moment and you can't think of everything that you want to say right then and there at the moment. Later on, you kind of think of something that you should have thrown in. Write it down. Analyze the details of what you want. Write it down and then think it over. Straight up. Physical. Let your mind tell you how to do what you must, Okay, let me redo that. Let your mind tell you how to do what you must do and get what you need. Follow your intuition. Go with your gut. Your gut's it is your intuition, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's basically what that's saying. You can get advice, but remember what I said. Everything that you need is all within. It's all within. And if not, or pray. You know what I mean? I'm not saying cut out. I'm never saying to cut out the higher power or the higher source, but I'm saying go within. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to get somebody getting those words twisted and be like, oh, he's saying this. Not that I care about anybody's opinion like that, but I'm just saying. Let me make sure I'm communicating correctly and patiently. All right. For the outcome, spiritual, it says the awareness of methods for the healing power of your belief. This is the outcomes of these actions. The awareness of methods for the healing power of your beliefs. Okay, so you are aware of, in a way, the process of how your beliefs bring healing to others. You know what I mean? You know what it takes. You know the tools that it takes, and you know how to use these tools to bring healing and comfort to other people through the values of your belief system. Get what I'm saying? That is the absolute best way I can break it down. I think that's a pretty good, accurate way. Mental. Many thoughts about or from the analyzing of what you value. So you're thinking about the things that you hold dear. Maybe some of these things you shouldn't hold dear. Maybe you're holding on to them a little bit too tightly. So you're having a lot of thoughts. You're not necessarily brainstorming, but you're meditating. You're meditating and you're analyzing all the things in your life that you hold of actual high value. The things that you don't hold as, I guess, in higher value or as not adding benefit or value to you or your life, those are the things you need to cut out. So maybe make yourself a list, I've done it before, of things you're grateful for, things you value, maybe things you need to cut out of your life. You know what I mean? You can do that with the vision board, or like I said, just jotting it down basically how I did, sorry. And then for physical, many words resulting from the perfectionism of your resources. Okay, I don't know. So maybe somebody has a lot to say about the help you're getting, and maybe they think that help that you are getting is a little too hidey-tidy. I don't know. That's another difficult one, but that's the best way I can put that one in. Break that down to your best ability, okay? Like I said, that's the best I can do on that one. But yeah, that's what I got for the karma cards, you guys. So, all right, don't want to do any more. You know what? We haven't done a Starseed Oracle card in a long time. Let's go ahead and do one. Why not? Every time I do them, I always hope that Mintaken comes out. I do. Mintaken Starseed, man. Can't help it. Anybody out there looked up the definition of what, or the meanings of the different starseeds and what maybe you resonate with? Lyran, Arcturian, Mintaken, Andromedan, Palladian, Syrian. No, that's never mind, not Syrian. That's a race of people, ancient race of people. I don't know why I even said that. Syrian, Lyrian. I think it's just because it rhymes together. It just made me think of it. Trust the timing. It's all in divine timing. It says, trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So let's say like you're going on now, you started this spiritual journey and you feel like you started it a little bit later in life, like how I did. Whenever it was that you started, and I'm just putting this in the aspect of starting a spiritual journey. Whenever you started, that was exactly when you were supposed to. That's the first rule, basically of a spiritual journey. Whenever you come across something, or when you have certain realizations, come across certain information that you're able to apply to your life that you didn't know before, anything, you have to know that it was meant to happen at that time. No matter the hardships or whatever like that that you might have faced before, certain realizations that you've had on this spiritual journey that you're able to apply to your life now. You know what I mean? They're lessons. So learn them. But it's all in divine timing. Don't rush the process, like I've been saying before. Like I've been saying before, and I keep on saying, because it's the truth, and I'm the truth. All right. That is all I got for that. We will go ahead and we will do a 1-minute meditation. Yes or no answer for your yes or no question. I'm going to close it out. Where's the coin at? Yes or no answer for your yes or no question. Did I say that right the first time? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't. But before we do that, almost had it backwards. All right. All right. Meditate on whatever you see fit, but for 1 whole minute. All right. Let's see if we can keep the streak going, huh? Get another yes. No. Look, I kind of blame that. It hit the death whistle. It didn't hit the mallet. I don't know. I kind of feel like it was meant to do that, though, in a way. But it's a no. Hopefully it's a good no. Not that many good no's. I mean, maybe it's the results from a test. I'm just playing. All right, you guys. Have a good rest of your night, man. I'm getting up out of here. Hopefully you guys had a very good conclusion to whatever lessons that were needed to be learned when it comes to this 8/8 LionsGate portal. Like I said, it is Mercury retrograde, so the universe is definitely testing you. All right, you guys take it easy. I'll catch you guys back here on not a set day, just on the flip. All right, you guys, catch you later. Peace.